Hey guys, it's Shayla, the Speaking Beauty, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to come to you guys today on Motivation Monday, showing you guys what all I did this summer, what classes I took, how my clinical experience was, and just kind of the gist of what I've been going through this summer with my speech language pathology graduate school program online. So this semester was a hybrid semester, so we got to spend 5 weeks on Tennessee State's campus in Nashville, Tennessee, and the rest of our time before we went to clinic and after clinic was still online. So we did still have classes while we had our clinical internship this summer, which was crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the classes that I was taking, and then I will go ahead and dab into my clinical internship experience. So the first class that I'm going to go ahead and talk about is voice. So this is the book that we had to use for voice therapy and voice disorders. So our teacher was pretty laid back. He actually serves voice clients at the VA hospital near, I think it's in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Basically, he just treats voice clients. He treats transgendered clients. And he has a lot of experience, but he's super laid back. So I really like that about the class. I think we only had 4 assignments or 5 assignments total. Some people like that, some people don't. I was kind of nervous because I'm not very strong in voice disorders, but he was very lenient and he only gave us the information that we absolutely needed to know. So I really like that. The next class that we had to take was advanced audiology. And we use this book, Foundations of Audiology, but we rarely use the book. I also use, sorry, it's got sticky notes on it. Let me take those off. But I also use this Intro to Audiology book. And luckily, I did not have to buy any books this semester. One of my great friends who was also in the program before me, she loaned me her books for this semester and next semester, so I am set, honey. I struggled in audiology. Honestly, don't even know if I passed with a C. But we're just going to pray to God because grades are due tomorrow, so I should be able to know what I made. In voice disorders, I think I did pretty good. I should either have a very high B or an A in that class. And the other class that we had to take was clinicals. So we had to do a language and fluency camp, and that consisted of 4 weeks of therapy, and during the 5th week, it was kind of split between like the first week that we got there, because we didn't do therapy that first week. And then it was kind of split within that last week that we were there, kind of wrapping up the client's files and everything. So the first week we had our orientation that Monday, and then throughout the week you were scheduled to do evaluations on kiddos. So I think some people had to test anywhere between 1 to 4 kids. I only had to test 2 kids, and the one kid that I tested was also on my caseload. The other one that I tested, I gave to someone else. Well, my supervisors gave her to someone else. I was able to complete some evaluations that I've never seen done before. I've seen the PLS done a million times. I've seen the Goldman-Fristow done a million times. So I wanted to give myself opportunity to use evaluations that I was not familiar with. So I did the TOLD, I did the SELF, I did the CASTLE, and I did the EVT. Or did I do the PPVT? I think I did one of the 2 of those. But anyway, it was a good experience as far as doing evaluations, but I feel like I could have chosen better evaluations for the kiddos that I evaluated. But that is a learning process. Even my supervisor said that sometimes she does not, give the right test, and sometimes has to retest, and, sometimes the scoring can just be all messed up because you didn't use the right appropriate test for that kiddo. So that was a learning experience. My diagnostic supervisor was also my supervisor for treatment. So it was pretty smooth. I mean, she wasn't like, oh, you didn't do that right and all that. Like, she was totally understanding, and she was very helpful. As far as the following week, each week we had to do a weekly lesson plan, and it basically talked about what you were going to do from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and you got to choose 3 different, well, you didn't really get to choose. You were assigned kids within 3 different groups. So the first block, you either had anywhere between 1 to 3 kids. Second block, same thing. Third block, same thing. Luckily for me, the first block only had 2 kids, and the whole first week, one of my kids didn't come. So they gave me another kid to treat so that I would be able to get my hours. But then I just kept that kid once the second week came, my kid came back. So I then had 2 kids, but I didn't have 2 kids for the first block the whole time. Some people did. Some people didn't have any kids. Their kids didn't show up, etc. So you had to be kind of flexible when it came to this, because things were just, I mean, you were kind of just thrown out there. Of course you had supervisors, but they were really, 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 really laid back. At least mine was. They weren't just gonna kind of jump in and kind of tell you what you were doing wrong. They would just write it on your little supervisor sheet and give it to you at the end and expect you to fix it the next day. Same thing with lesson plans. You would turn them in on Monday, and sometimes you would get revisions, and some people found themselves revising all the way up until Thursday, because we had therapy from Monday to Thursday. So some supervisors were lenient on that, and some supervisors just scratched it all the way up. It just depends on who you had. Like I said, my supervisors were great, so I only had one supervisor that made me do a lot of revisions, and she counted off because I wasn't going to keep doing the revisions. Like I said, I had 2 other classes outside of this clinic class, so I was really trying to balance everything, and it got crazy. Like, it was crazy. So daily after therapy, we were required to do SOAP notes. So whatever child that you saw during that first block, you are responsible for collecting the data. At the end of the day, we put all the data in a notebook. The clinicians kind of rotated throughout each room. So you got a chance to see how the child did for you, but also for 2 other clinicians for those last 2 blocks. And then you are required to turn in that SOAP note the next day, and you kind of monitor the progress. So that was crazy, because I got so behind on my SOAP notes one week. Like, I didn't do SOAP notes for a whole week. I would not advise you to do that. It was crazy, y'all. It was so much. Even though it was only Monday through Thursday, it was so much work, because then sometimes we had class that night up until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So I would definitely advise Tennessee State to revise their clinical program. We gave quite a bit of complaint about just how everything was set up, and having to do 3 hours with 1 kid or 1 or 2 kids and try to keep their attention span. Like, mind you, some of these kids had autism, cognitive disabilities, learning disabilities, attention span, behavior problems. Like, it was a lot. Overall, my experience was good, only because I got like 93 clinical hours from this whole experience. I could have gotten more, but I had to take 2 days off because I went to go see my husband graduate from basic training in Oklahoma. So I did have to take 2 days off, but my supervisors were totally cool about it. I talked to the clinical director. She was totally cool about it. We also got an opportunity to go to a skilled nursing facility on one day, like a full day, to kind of get hours, like adult hours, so we can kind of see how to do certain evaluations like the MOCA. We had to do cognitive testing on some patients, and it was really cool. We got to do hearing screenings on them. I did during our evaluation for the kiddos too. I did get a chance to do hearing screenings on both of those kids that I evaluated as well. It had been a while since I'd done hearing screening, so I was excited about that, to kind of just brush myself up on that information. But yeah, overall my experience was better than some people in my cohort, like I said, who had either horrible supervisors or just had it rough because they had never been doing therapy before. Half of my cohort are SLPAs or SLTs, and the other half had never experienced doing therapy before. So it was a learning curve for some people, and even me as an SLPA, I still struggled because, like I said, they were putting demands on us as we were practicing as speech language pathologists. They were asking us, hey, show me what you can do as an SLPA. Show me that you know how to go outside of your scope of practice and that you're competent to practice as an SLP intern, which is what we'll be doing in the fall. So I want to go ahead and kind of talk about how I feel like I did and everything like that. As far as clinic goes, my supervisor said that I did really good. I got very high marks from them, but we did have a final in the actual clinic class. So we did have an hour-and-a-half class tacked on to summer camp, and we kind of just talked with our teacher, which is most of my cohort's advisor taught this class. So my advisor was also my teacher on Mondays for an hour-and-a-half. We didn't have class every single Monday. Majority of the time we did, and we kind of just wrapped up everything. She kind of gave us more information on how to be better clinicians, and she gave us a lot of case studies and how to apply our skills that we learned in clinic and our skills that we've learned thus far. How are we going to apply them in our next clinical placement in the school system? We had a final for that class and I made an 88, so I guess that's good. I made 100 in all the other assignments for the class, so hopefully that all rounds up to an A. Voice disorders, we had a few assignments for that class. Like I said, I think I did pretty good in the A range, so I should have another A in that class or a low B. I'm fine with either one, but I honestly really need to get an A in my voice disorders class because that class weighs out more than my clinic class. And in audiology, y'all, like I said, I'm just praying for a C in that class. If I get a B, it will be sent from God because that class was just a struggle. So hopefully I can get a 3.0 this semester or higher. I'm super excited about just being done with the semester. Everything will be updated on our transcript, I think by tomorrow night, if all of our teachers have our grades in. Fingers crossed that I do really good this semester because this is my first semester full throttle back into the program. I only have a week break because we start back school next Monday. So it's the 12th now and we start back school on the 20th. So not only do I start back school, I'm going to be starting a new SLPA job on that same Monday. So it's gonna be interesting, but I'm super excited. Stay tuned so you guys can know what classes that I'm going to be taking in the fall. If you want to know more about my clinical externship in the school system and how I'm gonna like work that out with my SLPA job and with school, just stay tuned. And the way that you can stay tuned is subscribe to my channel so you won't miss another upload from me. I will be having these Motivation Monday videos coming out every Monday because I know that people watching these videos are in different stages of their SLPA journey or SLP journey. So every Monday you can be expecting a SLPA or SLP related video from me. So next Monday I will be telling you guys what classes I'm taking in the fall, and it's exciting because that day will be my first day of work and it will be my first day being back in class. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, subscribe down below. It's free. It's not gonna hurt anybody. Just go ahead and subscribe. Hit that bell too so you can get notified when I post a video because I'm not sure exactly what time these videos are going up. Just kind of keep an eye out on my channel on Mondays. And if you don't want to keep an eye out, you can just get notified when I do post. So that's a good thing. I'm glad YouTube like integrated that into the thing because yeah, like sometimes I miss people's uploads and I'm like, oh wow, okay, I had to go catch up. Like this video if you want to see more videos like this, and share this video
with your friends, your families, your classmates, your teachers, whoever that you feel like would be interested.
Share this video. I want to thank you guys so much for coming back and watching me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.